Hi everybody, it's Barbara and we're going to work on Evergreen today. There are only a few of these kits left, so get them now if you want them. I don't know how many are left, but they did say that there was just a few left. So this is a beautiful kit. I know you'll love it, and especially if you have winter pictures. Now, I don't have too many winter pictures because I hate winter, so I don't go out in it much. But I do have a few, and we're going to throw those up there. I made a lot of mistakes on the first page, so I will kind of give you a hint that everything on there, you're going to want to put all of the background punch out pieces and stickers down before you put your photo mats on. And also I'm going to be cutting some new photo mats for the 3x4s because they had it as no photo mats, but I don't think it's going to stand out as well unless you have some photo mats. And luckily we had a lot of French vanilla paper left over, so you can use that to cut two 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 mats from that. So make sure you lay down the stickers and the punch outs first, then add your photo mats. So let's get started, and we're going to be using some Distress Oxide today, which is exciting because we haven't used that for a while. We've got Rustic Wilderness, and we've got Speckled Egg, a blue and a green there, and I'm just taking my little, what I call a makeup brush, and putting down one of the colors. I think I'm starting with the blue in there, and just upper right and lower left of center and putting that on, and then throwing the green up after it, and just try to blend it in as best you can. One of the techniques you can use is to start once you get a little ink on you can start off of the page and kind of dab it off of the page first and then smooth it on. I just didn't want to get out my mats and all that stuff today, so I just blended it in because only a little bit is going to show, so it's not that big of a deal if it's not completely smoothed out, right? So you can see right there's a little bit of a green blotch up there, but that's all, basically going to be covered. So it was no big deal on this, in my opinion. So let's put the rest together here. I think, I know what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and we're going to grab a box and take out your white gloss spray because we want to add some little polka dots all over it. Perfect for snow, right? So now my sprayer no longer works anymore, so I just do the drippy thing and just tap it all over, and I think it looks better anyway than doing the spray on this particular color. So I'm just going to tap both of the pages all over it, and then, after I did that, I thought, you know what, I think I'm also going to use one product that we don't sell. So it's going to be a distress spray stain that I love to use on most of my pages because it's like a really, really light gray. It barely shows up, but it's just enough to add a little pizzazz. So this is Lost Shadow Distress Spray Stain. It's by Ranger. We don't sell this product, so I think it's okay for me to show it to you. And it's this I do because it's kind of not so thick. It sprays really easily, and so I just sprayed both of these pages lightly to add a little bit more texture to it. Okay, here's where I start to make some mistakes. Now, this isn't a mistake. You're going to go ahead and put down the longest side horizontally of this, 2 inches, I believe, from the top. And then this goes 3 inches from the bottom. Yep, this piece is going to go 3 inches from the bottom. Now, here's what I forgot to put, the little scallop punch-out piece. You're going to do that under the Evergreen pattern piece, and you're going to do another piece that you cut that's kind of a strip. It's a strip of paper that you cut out that has the dark green leaves on it. And that's going to go right where you see the ruler right now, a 1/2 inch over there, right flush with the top of that Evergreen paper. And then I'm also recommending, as you saw at the beginning of the video here, that you go ahead and put down any of the stuff that's going to go behind the mats, which includes the tags at the upper right and the big scalloped circle down at the bottom. Put those on first before you put all these mats down because it's going to be a lot easier. I forgot to do that, and so you'll see me correct it But it's going to be a lot easier for you if you go ahead and stick those down first. And that's the green tag, the dark green tag, the brown tag, and the 2 evergreen bows. Die cuts will go at the upper right-hand corner down before you put your mat down, and then down below the big 4x6 photo, you want to go ahead and put that circle that you see me using right there. And actually, oh, I did remember to put that one under. So I just did a little line of around those scallops to see where I wanted once I took the mat off there, and then it was easy to glue there. And then I did remember to put that mat on over it, but not the upper corner. So I guess I did the bottom one okay. Just not the upper corner. So definitely put your little tags down there first. It's going to make it so much easier for you. And just look at your measurements to get the angle and everything right on this. It's not really an angle, but to put your mat down in the right spot. I could have moved my little circle over, my scallop circle over just a touch. So when you're putting yours down, move that down a little bit. Then I decided, these mats are not going to, they're not really mats, but these are supposed to be photos. And these photos are not going to pop out as nice as you want them to unless you back them with some mats. I'm not sure why they didn't have us cut mats for this. I think one of the things that close to my heart tends to do is wants all the mats the same color. To me, that doesn't, I don't need that. Sometimes I want the mats brighter because they're going to go for pattern paper that's dark, and I want them to stand out. So I'm just using some of that leftover French vanilla and cutting it 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 to make 2 mats for what's going to be photos here. But like I said at the beginning, I don't have a lot of photos of winter because I don't like it. So that goes, it looks like it goes pretty close to the same level as the 4x6, and then a little bit hanging off on the second one down at the bottom there. And then I just checked with my ruler to make sure all of this looks fairly straight. Because even if you put it down with your ruler, when you start, sometimes it still goes a little crooked. And so I tend to check a little bit more. Now, here's my mistake. So I didn't put these down first. So here's what you can do. You just start to cut them. So instead of having to tuck them under, which you always, of course, can try and lift up your mat a little bit, but sometimes that wrinkles it. And so what I did was I just cut it. And now it's just sitting against that photo mat instead. And then I'm going to cut this slightly on an angle. So it's going to tip towards the right. And then it just you don't even have to tuck it all. Now this one, I cut the wrong angle. You're going to see. So all I'm going to do once I realize that is I'm going to cut it off the other way instead. So it tips to the left. And then the bows I should have put down first. So this is a good thing that you're watching this video. So now I can lift that one tag up a little bit. So I'm going to cut some of the bow off at the bottom and then just tuck it by lifting that one little tag because it wasn't down that tight. But you could have just cut more and just put it next to it. And then I lifted just a bit my mat for the second one. You don't need a lot of glue for this because it's quite delicate. So really, if you just put a few drops here and there, you're going to be fine with that. And then you'll see me do the other bow, and I'm also going to probably cut that a little bit so that I don't have to lift too much. I can't remember now if I cut it or not. But I did lift up the photo mat just a touch, so I didn't cut it and just put it down there. And that's what all the stuff you want to do before you put the photo mat down. But now you know how to do it if you don't. Now, the Winter Wonderland is supposed to go directly over the photo. I don't have my photos down, so instead I'm going to put it right above the photo placeholder, but still on the mat. And I decided I would pop that up. And that'll make me have to move my star that I'm going to put next just a touch in a different place. On the actual directions, you actually put the star over the Winter Wonderland, but I didn't have a lot of space up there because I had to lift that up to avoid where my photo is going to be. So I'm thinking I'm tucking it under instead. Now, in the tag on your sticker page, there's a little tag at the top that has a pine cone on it. In the center of the tag, I believe, is what they used for the center of this. See that? And so I think that's what it was because I didn't see anything else that looked like a little brown dot. So they must have used that. All right, now let's work on that lower left. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, we got to put that remember sticker. I did pop this up. This is actually a punch out, not a sticker. Oh, I forgot. Here's where I'm just as scattered doing the voiceover as I was doing the actual layout. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to stick this under there. So I was able to lift up the little scallop piece. But if you can't, then just cut it. Cut it on the left a little bit and tuck it as much as you can. Cut it on the right. And up here, I cut that whole right-hand side off. And then I thought, oh, it's not going to really show too much under those boughs of holly. Or not even holly, but evergreen boughs. And then I thought, whatever. Nobody's going to know. So then I put the foam tape on and stuck that remember up there. So this is going to be the video that shows you all the things not to do wrong. Am I the only one that makes these mistakes? I don't think so. All right, now we can work on the lower. And this is going to be pretty easy because it's mostly punch outs and stickers. We've got that little star sticker is going to go down first because that goes behind everything else. And that's one of the smaller little stars there. And I didn't put it over the photo because I don't have a photo there. So I just went almost all the way up to the photo. And then on this, I'm going to put foam tape all over it, but I'm only taking the backing of the foam tape off on the lower part so that I'll be able to slide my photos right under this once I get them. So those two pieces right there will not have the backing taken off. And the pieces I'm putting on right now, I will take the backing off so they'll stick down. And that way it can lay over the photos or where the photos will be without actually hurting them, and I'll be able to slide them under later. And then we're going to grab the big green star, and I'm just going to tuck just a tiny bit of that other, and I'm not going to pop that whole thing up, just sliding it under, and then we've got a little kind of light blue sage colored star there. And one thing I'm missing there is a little white dot. So look for that and put that on. On to page 2, and we're going to go ahead and put that evergreen and pine cone pattern paper down in the middle, about 1.5 inches from each side, I believe. And this time I did the layout right, in the right order. Now there's another option that I didn't talk about when putting down these mats, these photo mats, is you can always just put a little foam tape in the center of the mat, put the mat down, and then tuck all the other parts under it, which is actually the way that they write in the description to do. So, but when you do that, then you have to go back later and start putting your foam tape all around the edges of your photos because they, they need to be stuck down, right? And I find that a little bit more difficult than just laying all the parts down first. So I remember to put the scallop down here this time on this page. And then I remembered to put the little piece at the top too. I set them right in next to my Versamat there just so I wouldn't forget again. And we're going to put the big green leafy paper over. And then we'll get started on all that decorating. We're going to lay all these parts down first. So use a lot of adhesive if you can afford it. You want these things to stay down forever, right? All right, so I think we're going to start with that upper right and put the punch out pieces together. And what I did was I looked at where they set it on the actual photos in the directions. And I just kind of estimated it. There's no real measurements for these. I just kind of looked to see, well, it looked like it was about, 1/2 inch above the green. And it's tipped slightly. And then I know that this sticker is going to go into the middle. And so it was all just kind of placed down approximate, by looking at the photo. Again, on these pine boughs, you don't need too much glue. They're going to stay down even if you just kind of put it along the stem part of the pine boughs. And I'm just doing tiny little dots and a few here and there. One turn to the left, one turn to the right on this. And they're the same color on both sides, so it doesn't really matter. And then I already had my foam tape ready on this photo, and they tell you to, kind of tip it. So I estimated, I put it about a 1¼ inch away from the right-hand side for the top. And then I just kind of estimated where the 1½ inches were. So I just tipped it a little bit. This does not have to be perfection, folks. Nobody's going to know, right? Okay, now let's see what we're going to work on. Let's do the lower. Are we doing lower bottom? Yeah, I think so. We're going to do the lower bottom stuff. Again, just looking at the pictures, giving my best estimate on where I'm going to put those, and sticking it down. And so I just look to see what looks like it's tucked behind a photo. Everything that's tucked behind the photo, I'm sticking down now, so I don't make the same mistake again. And I believe that once we put these main things down, we're going to do the journaling block next, which I am. And I thought it'd be easiest to stick these down while I have the journaling block not stuck down. So I just put a little glue on the front of each of these little banners and stuck it in there. Now, this does not need to be popped up because you're going to be writing on it. And if you don't write on it ahead of time, you're going to want it to be flat and not try to write over foam tape, right? So just put that down straight. And then this tag here is going to go to the lower right of it, not in any particular position, but it's just to fill up that space. And now I'm putting the last remaining photo down there. It slightly goes over the one on the right-hand side, but just kind of stick it in the middle. And I did put my ruler up there just to check it out real quick. So I did it approximate. And now it's sticker time. And on this one, I'm going to do something different. Instead of putting the foam tape and not taking the backing off, I'm actually going to use my little anti-static pouch there and take the stickiness away from 2 of the points of the star. And those will lay over the photo so that when I put in a photo later, I'll be able to slide it under. But the truth is, folks, get your photos ready ahead of time. The only reason I'm trying to do this now this way is because I do not have any photos. I went through all my photos, and the only winter ones I have are for page 3. So if you don't have photos, you can try it this way, but I am really trying to convince you to get your photos and not just make the layouts ahead of time. Just go ahead and print out some photos to go on them right away. So much easier to do all of this. Right now, just adding some stickers here and there, that beige one, the little star up at the top, all these little brown and white dots that they've got go in the middle of like the stars and such like that. There's a lot of those little brown and white dots on there. And we're putting all these little stickers down. I popped up the one that was a circle with the evergreen boughs in the middle. That's the one you see right now. So just a little piece of pop tape on that. Everything else, I believe, was flat on the lower left. So this is the only one that's going to pop up. And then, oh my gosh, we're nearly done. Yep, one more one of those little brown and white stickers. And I think that we are almost done with all of this. And it just is beautiful. The color scheme, so gorgeous. I really hope that you like it. Okay, so let's move on to layout 2 from the Evergreen workshop. All right, let's get started. You're going to do that gray mink colored paper with the lines, crisscross lines all over it. And start out with doing the zip strip first, and then that really cool looking polka dot paper, which I almost was tempted to flip around when we get to the next part where you're going to see this green paper here. The back side is really cool, so you could totally go with that instead, and then just maybe use different colored mats. But I don't know, even these mats would be okay, but they are the same color. So just put that on, and then we're just kind of building around this big piece here. And you can see I turned the whole thing to the side, but the long side is going to be going vertically on this. And you've got that little gray, or again, I'll call it mink, because that's the true color, mink colored strip that just goes about a 1/2 inch down. And then we have that little kind of a tab, almost like a file tab. Get that down there too. And again, I don't have any pictures for this. Oh, I guess I'm gonna have to get out in that snow sometime and take some pictures. But the truth is that here in Illinois, we have not had a lot of snow. And boy, I think for February we had one snow. It was gone in a few days, and we have not had some. And I don't see any coming up in the next 10 days at all. So who knows? I'm going to assume we're going to get some snow in March for sure. Maybe at the end of February. But that means I actually have to go out in it to take these pictures. So we'll see if maybe my kids can take pictures wherever they are. All right, now I am going to put some of these down before the mat, but you'll see the musical circle and the gray polka dot scallop I did forget to put down first, which I'm actually kind of glad now because it's so thick that it would make that green paper bunch up a bit. And so I think it is really the better way to go on this one is to slice off, it looks like maybe 1.5 inches of the right-hand side and then just glue it up against that green paper. Otherwise, it's going to bunch up under there because that is 2 layers and that's a bit much. If it was just 1 layer, I would probably say just tuck it, but I don't think that's going to work for this. So I sliced it pretty thin there, and that's going to go again about 3/8 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch down on the right-hand side. And now for some of those pine bows, whatever it is, I'm going to lay them down first so that we can get that photo mat up over them and won't have to do any tucking later. You've got that white piece that's kind of an ivy sort of thing or weird leaf, and then one more are the pine boughs there. And I think on that upper part, that is all the things that really needed any tucking, but are going to put some photo tape on the back of the mat, which I believe is what I'm bringing up next. Let me see. Yep. So so as to not bore you, I started to put down some photo tape and then stopped the video momentarily because it's kind of boring to watch. We'll continue on. And here we've got our foam tape all ready. And you're going to just put that on using the measurements on your page, which will be in the description below. All the information that you're going to need to make this. And remember, there is only just a few left. The sticker I kind of laid a little bit lower than the actual picture because I didn't want to have to do much tucking there. So I just put it on the left-hand side, or what I know, about 1/2 inch down from that little brown tab there. And now we're going to put down this other mat. And because the little banner strips are not long, I did not feel a need to tuck those either. I just stuck those on the side, and they look like they were about the same measurements as they are on the actual directions. So you don't need to actually tuck that at all. And we're going to build up on this left-hand side with all the little leaves, first those brown leaves, and then the 2 boughs, and then the white leaves are going to go down here. And I think that will be the last of what we are putting down under the upcoming title, which is a beautiful title. Remember, we already did a little work on that, adding some of our Distress Oxide. So I am going to be putting foam tape on that once we are ready for that. So I think we are ready. So I think that the next thing, pull your title off there and get a lot of foam tape. And I'm going to be careful as I do my foam tape, knowing that it's just slightly going to go over the photo above it. So I'm going to not put the foam tape probably all the way to the top. Maybe put it all in just a touch And then on the photo to the right of it, I'm going all the way to the edge to where the photo will be. So I'm going up over the mat, but then not going to go over the photo itself or what will be the photo. So yeah, I have run through a lot of tape on this layout. But you know what? You can get it at a discount if you're a VIP. So consider signing up to be a Close to My Heart VIP with me. All right, there we go. Now that one's down and that looks awesome. And we're going to just decorate the little bits and pieces around it. So this piece sticker, I'm putting a little foam tape right to the left of it, and then it's going to lay down onto the title somewhere between Snowflakes and Beautiful. And you won't have, since it's a sticker, you won't have to put any adhesive there. And then we've got that heart sticker there, and leave the brown heart on the sticker sheet because you'll need that later. And then that little snowflake sticker goes up towards the top. And I did put just the slightest bit of foam tape on one of the little points. Because remember, that whole title's popped up. So just to even it out so that it doesn't stick down, lower on one spot than the other. And now I believe we're going to work on just a few things at the top. Now I've got to take that heart out of there because we're going to use that in a minute. Lay that down flat. And then grab that heart, the brown heart that we just had left on the sticker sheet. And then this one needs to pop up to add some nice dimension. And then we'll be about done, I think, on this first page. So, wow, super, super quick. Don't you love that? And yet beautiful, right? And we'll start to work on page 2 in a minute. I don't think I forgot anything. Good. So this layout is turning out beautifully. I really love the design. I don't know who designed it at the art studio Close to My Heart, but they did a great job. Start with your zip strip over on the right-hand side, and then we're going to add that polka dotted paper that I am in love with. And I think I'm going to have to buy a couple extra packs of this because it's, I see that the musical paper and the polka dot paper are really, very appealing to me, especially. But really, this whole paper set is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Wish I had more winter pictures. So here I made a little mistake, and I put this about an inch down, and it's actually supposed to be 1.5 inches. So you'll see in the next little clip that I kind of moved that down once I realized that. Had to use my undo because it was stuck down but good. But there's that musical paper. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, imagine how many of us have ourselves or family members that take lessons of something or are in a band, at school, that kind of thing. So that's great paper that you could use for that. So, yep, here I put it 1 inch down from the top, and it was supposed to be 1.5 inches. So I ended up having to move it. And you're going to see that in this next clip that's starting right now. So now I've moved that down, and now we're going to add that green paper with the evergreen boughs on it. And just look at your measurements for where that's supposed to go. But I'm telling you, when I put this down, it did not quite match up to the picture because it looks on the picture like it's at least 3/4 of an inch. Maybe I cut it too short or something, but I did move it down a touch just to let it hang off the bottom because that's how it looks on the photographs and the instructions. So that's why you keep seeing me moving it here, because I'm trying to adjust it because it doesn't seem to match the photo. So check your measurements, make sure that you cut yours right. Maybe I just cut mine a little short, not sure, but not that big of a deal. But I just kind of evened it out to make it hang down a little bit there. And I think, let's see, what do we have next here? Oh, yeah. This time I remembered to put the gray scallop circle down early. So that's going to go under those photos. Now, this is the journaling block. So I already went ahead and put the white paper, the French vanilla on there. And I'm adding the sticker that goes over it. You want to put the French vanilla down so that you have white to write on. And I think that was a great idea on Close to My Heart's part here. I think that looks so pretty with that sticker around the white paper like that. was somebody was thinking. So I measured it because it tips a little bit. I measured how far down it goes and how far in it goes on the bottom and on the top. Those are all in your instructions. And then just laid this one down flat. And yeah, this, you're going to need to cut a little bit of this sticker. So it didn't actually, I'm not sure if it even said. But I just went ahead and cut it. And I cut it at about a 1/2 inch wide. And then that goes on top of the journaling block. And then also there's that little postage stamp type thing. And instead of, because that was quite big, instead of trying to tuck it under all of that because it's thick, I trimmed it down and then I trimmed it again because I wanted it a little bit skinnier, and then laid it next to it because it's chipboard. You don't really want to put it up, tuck it under because it's going to make your paper wavy, and we didn't want that. So I just trimmed it until it fit. And then let me see. I don't know if we're putting the hearts on now or not, but I think so. I suddenly realized, though, that either I used the wrong hearts on the other paper, or at some point we were supposed to use those white hearts from the chipboard. So I decided to use them now, even though they weren't the exact sizes that I see on the page. And it looked like that they were colored. So I thought, okay, well, they probably used the Distress Oxide, and I missed that instruction somewhere. So I just went ahead and colored one with the speckled egg and the other one with the rustic wilderness, to make them 2 different colors. So they're not 2 different sizes like they're supposed to be. So I probably used one sticker that I wasn't supposed to, and it was supposed to go here, but no big deal. It's 2 hearts, right? So I put one down flat, and then I put the other one on a little pop dot. And just layered them over each other. And they look just fine. And no one will ever know that we didn't use a sticker there when we were supposed to. And that's a good way to use up those things. And hopefully when we do layout 3, I didn't need those hearts. If not, I'll make it work, right? There is no way you can do all these layouts to perfection. It's just impossible. All right, I think that whole piece is done now. And so I'm going to put the big photo down next. And I had trouble getting it straight. I went from the top and did it that way and thought I had it straight. But then when I put on the lower photos, they went on straight, and it made the other one look crooked. So you'll end up seeing me adjust that later. So try to make sure that your stuff is straight before you take off the adhesive, maybe, kind of maybe do a little pencil mark to help yourself. Use the lines on the musical paper maybe to help it stay straight. But I can still see, just looking at it there, that it was just slightly crooked, and it really was noticeable once I put this piece down and used my ruler to add that in. And then I thought, I don't think these are quite the same. And this goes ahead and both of these mats are going to overlap the journaling slightly. Now they actually typed their journaling, I see, on the layout instructions, but oh my gosh, what a pain would that be? You'd really have to type it on paper and then cut it out, because trying to get it on that little block of cardstock is not going to work very easily. And I just do a lot of handwriting in my journaling because I feel like that's more personal anyway. And once in a while I do a longer version, but for that, you can either add your little journaling strips there, or you can just do light pencil lines and a ruler to make sure everything's straight, and do your journaling directly on them. So now we're going to add some of these little pine boughs and leaves. And I just kind of estimated about where they were going to go so that I could put them down under this big lantern sticker. Again, on those small boughs, really you could just go up the spine of the bough, and you really don't need much more glue than that because they're pretty delicate and light. All right. I think sticker time. Yep. Oh, we got that sticker up at the top, and I just tucked that under. Remember, because we popped that up with pop dots, so that was easy to tuck under until it was straight on both sides, on the outside sides. And now I'm just kind of estimating where that's going to lay across my photo because I don't have any photos on here. I have to use the anti-static pouch. So that will lay it over, and hopefully I'll be able to tuck it in later. But I can tell you sometimes even the anti-static pouch doesn't work. So it's always handy to have a bottle of Undo with you at all times. It's just one of those products that you can't live without. So I put the powder on the left-hand side and then the foam dots around the bottom and the right-hand side. And then that kind of lays over all of the pine boughs. And then there's that little love sticker. And I put half of it on the lantern sticker and the other half had a pop dot underneath it. So it all lay flat. And then I think we've got our big scallop sticker to tie it all together. This is how you do some of this grouping of embellishments. Make a little cluster, and it's beautiful. It just looks beautiful. Again, I popped that up so that it wouldn't touch my photo, and I'll be able to slip under later. Okay, let me see. I think we're done, and there you go.
Okay,
hope you like
2
it.
down, 1 to go. Let's start on layout 3.
All right, I'm going to do layout 3, and we're going to be doing quite a bit with this Distress Oxide on here. You're really going to take quite a large swirl across the page, and it looked like it just kind of started at about a third of the way over, and then just swirled down and then across into I don't know, almost like a U across the page. And I'm starting with the green, which is the rustic wilderness. And then afterwards, I will put in the speckled egg, speckled egg. And again, so much of this is going to be covered, so you don't really need your all-purpose mat here to tap off. When I do is I start to press lightly at the very first, after I get the ink on, I press lightly and then just push down a little bit harder. But all of this is going to be just in and out behind your elements on here, so don't worry about that too much. Then on page 2, we're starting more over towards the edge, and then just kind of drawing that down to about a fourth, in the area of about a fourth, the bottom fourth of the page. And then both colors again. And another cool thing you could do with this if you wanted to is you could take your little spray bottle of water or some water droplets that you get off a water brush or whatever, and put that over these, and oxide ink reacts to water, and so it does make some cool looks that way. So that's another option you have there. Last thing we're going to do for our prep, I believe, is there was one little tiny heart that I could have used on the last layout, but we do need to use it on this one. So I'm just putting a little of the speckled egg on there to color that just slightly. And let me see, I think that's it for the prep. Right, so let's start putting this together. I've kind of laid out all of the little sort of hexagon type elements there, because I wanted to see where they were going to go. But you can go ahead and put your strips down first. You've got the big thick one, and then we've got the green and then the striped. And then I think I'm just going to go with the way I've laid out these little hexagons. And it looks like they're about, maybe an inch up from the bottom for the bottom too. And so I just laid them out, and I noticed that they kind of fit together so that the little peaks make sort of an oval in between them. So start on the one that you want to, and then all of the rest of them kind of fit like a little puzzle. Okay, so I got a little glue on that one, so that's why I had to wipe that off there. So just, once you've got it the way you think you want it, put down the first one, and then you'll just notice that as you put these together about just a little bit less than a 1/4 inch, you can see that the little points kind of form an oval in between. Unlike other regular hexagons that aren't curved, where you're just putting straight to straight, You're just kind of making sort of an oval shape in between each little thing. Not a complete oval, but you know, that look to it. If you can see what I mean when you look down here. But of course you can do them any way you want. But that's how I kind of guided myself. So once I had that first one down, it wasn't too hard to do the rest. And then I just looked on the directions for where the placement was. And you can see that the one on the right is going to go off the page, and you're going to want to trim that. And this is a cool little look. A different kind of background. You know, layers are what it's all about, right? We got the layer of the color, the layer of the paper, and then the layer of the pattern papers. And now we've got this final element of those little hexagons on there. I already put my foam tape down for this. So I wanted to measure first because I know that there's a little bit of tucking that needs to go out of there. So I kind of laid my photo down without gluing it down. So by flipping it over there because the adhesive strips are already ready to go. And then just started to see what needs to tuck under that. And once I get this first pine bough there, I can move my photo because then I know that I'm in the right place there. So that all goes up in the upper loft, little pine cone there. And again, just a few droplets because this is a very thin piece of paper. Stick that on there. And what else did I have? The leaves. Might as well use as much as we can off of these pieces, right? So I lay those 2 leaves down, and the flower is going to pop up over the photo, so I'm not going to put that down yet. Oops, stuck to my finger and I didn't realize it. There we go. Now you lay down that tag. A little bit of journaling up there that you'll be able to tuck under. Well, that'll be tucked under, I should say. And now I know I'm going to put my photo on there. And I just kind of lined it up against the striped. It actually goes a little bit over into the green, but you know, I thought I'm just going to line it up against the stripe, then I don't have to worry about it being straight. Now I'm going to put this flower down. Now they did not show what they did because the flower on the page definitely has a center of some sort to it, and I'm going to add some, it's Nuvo drops. Unfortunately, at this point in my recording, my camera suddenly turned off, and I didn't realize it, and so it kept, I kept going even though it didn't record. So I'm just going to kind of talk you through the next couple pages here, the rest of this page and then the next page. So what I did was I took the frame for this journaling block. There was a piece of French vanilla cardstock you put behind it, and then you go take this sticker here, turn it sideways so it's this way, and you're going to tuck that underneath that whole thing. Attach at a slight angle. Add your heart that you pre-made with a foam dot, and then put in the baby it's cold outside. You're going to take the punch outs that you have, the snowflake ones, put them in the 2 brown lined hexagons, and then that one remaining heart that you had on your sticker page. And then I filled this little flower with the Nuvo. I'm not sure if I showed that in the last video. Let's move this out of the way and look at the next page. I finished most of this page without realizing it was recording. So first thing I did was about an 1.5 inches from the bottom. You're going to want to have this first hexagon. Okay, that's going to be the guide there. Go ahead and add in your strips here. This is the easy part. But the hexagon, try to do this about 1.5 inches from the bottom. It's going to be best. And then just, you know, draw your other, put your other hexagons up here. Some of mine got covered because I went a little bit too high. So I'm going to recommend it about 1.5 inches here. And then you go ahead and put your mats and put your other 2 mats here. Those are just about 1/8 of an inch underneath, and then just go about 1/8 of an inch or so to the left there. And then the journaling block, I don't know if I have that in the video, so I'll just tell you about it. That just goes here. I just did it about 1/4 of an inch away from the left-hand side of the striped piece there. And then, not sure if this is on the next video, but the pine boughs and the pine cones, 2 of the little leaves there. This sticker was popped up, and then I didn't put any tape over here except without taking off the backing, so it's not sticky underneath here. But of course you can do it once you have your photos down, so that's an option there. And then I put the flower up here, and then went ahead and put the middle. So we'll see, some of this may have not be done on the next part of the video, but that's a general overview. Sorry about that. Okay, it does look like that I'm pretty much caught up there. And now we're just going to do basically that the final sticker, I think. We've got the pine boughs down underneath it, and going to add this sticker, and then maybe fill in the flower probably. Yeah, okay, one flower over here on that hexagon. And then is it time to fill them up? Yep, so I just took my new stickles would work with this. Glue and glitter would work with this. Any kind of glitter glue would work just fine to fill those flowers in. Or you could put an enamel dot there also. So pretty sure that's it. So here is the final thing. And sorry I missed the last part. Okay, a bit of an ordeal getting through this, but you know... That's the way it is, and I'm not big on doing tons and tons of editing. I want you to see the real me, and this is the real me. I make mistakes from time to time, so I hope you enjoyed looking at all three of these layouts, and enjoy Evergreen.